Everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm excited to get to talk to you a little bit about what we do in the business school to help students find jobs and internships and begin to prepare for their careers from the day that they set foot on campus. So my name is Brett LaPrade. I am the employer relations manager for the business school. And so in my role, I spend about 80% of my time in communication with employers, anyone from alumni to cold calling different businesses to working through established networks and professional trade industries to find opportunities for students. Everything from internships to full-time jobs to externships to experiential learning opportunities. I get to do that. I also do a little bit of coaching for students, helping them on their search for internships and jobs. So that's what I do.
Great. Thanks, Brett. Mary?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Enverfirth. I'm the career coach for the Bush School. I'm originally from Houston, Texas, and I've loved living in DC for almost 5 years now. My role at the Bush School looks a lot like meeting with you once you get on campus and talking to students all the way from freshman year to senior year, figuring out what it is you want to do and how we can help you get there. I also teach a course called Career Preparation, and we'll talk more about that later. I'm really excited to see everyone here, and we'll be looking forward to hearing your questions later on.
Thanks, Mary. And now Emma?
Hello, everyone. My name is Emma Flanagan. I'm a senior marketing major from Dayton, Ohio. And here on the career development team, I'm the career development intern. So I help several students throughout the business school with all of their professional endeavors, being resume reviews, cover letter reviews, and I also support the teaching of students through Management 299A, which is one of our super curriculum courses to prepare students for the job and workforce environment after college.
Cool. Thanks, Emma. And now Jack?
Hi everyone, my name is Jack Murray. I'm a sophomore accounting major from Hanover, Massachusetts. I'm the data analysis intern on the career development team. A lot of my role revolves around looking at the projects our team is doing, collecting data on it, and providing that data and reports to our team, employers, and then other students around the school as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Jack. And Molly?
Hi everyone, my name is Molly DeLore. I'm a senior marketing major and sales minor from Weymouth, Massachusetts. Here on the team, I am the employee relations and events intern. So I do our marketing strategies for the events we hold and do a lot of support work working under Brett.
Awesome. All right, now let's get to some of these questions.
Well, we were coming up with some questions that we thought you all might have for us. And one of the most high level but really helpful questions to answer right off the bat would be, what is the Office of Career Development? What do we do? And Brett, would you walk us through what that answer would be?
Yeah, sure. I'd be happy to. So the mission for the Office of Career Development in the Bush School of Business is to guide students in discovering their vocation, one that provides personal fulfillment and meaning through providing both traditional career opportunities and unique experiential learning opportunities. So we do those things in order to promote our mission in a few different ways. We put on different programming, different events. We encourage and help our students do networking with professionals around DC or wherever they might be interested in having an internship or a job. And we also host many different resources on our website and also in our physical office space. So we'll talk more later about some of the programming that we do, but just one highlight is we take a group to New York City every year to see the investment banks that we have alumni working in. We go and we see some of our alumni who also work on the stock exchange floor, which is always a highlight. And then in the spring, we do a large networking event that we call Career Networking Night. We've seen many different internship and job opportunities come for our students. We typically have about 250 to 300 people participating in that. A number of employers, I think we had 45 last year. So those are some of, just a little taste of some of the things that we do. Now, you might be asking yourself, when can I actually get started on preparing for my career? And I think, Mary, you might be one better suited to answer that question.
I'd be happy to. The short answer is right now. Many of you probably had to take an attempt at writing a resume, or you're probably like, what's a resume? You might be kind of all over the place with that, but we're hoping that you can start looking at the Bush School template, which is available on our career resources page. You could get a head start on downloading that template, looking at what information you would want to add in there, because freshman year, we work with you in a class to help you edit that template and get you ready to send it out to employers. But you can also, as you're home right now, think about who's in your professional network. So are there family friends? Are there aunts and uncles? Are there previous teachers, or perhaps someone you've worked with either in a volunteer capacity or just someone you know from either the golf course or your favorite restaurant that you know has a job that's interesting to you? Now's the time to ask them questions about it. Maybe ask them to, have them walk you through a normal day. So you can get a sense for, okay, as I'm going into the business school, what are the careers I'm going to be interested in most? And then after that first year, you might be able to go back to them and say, hey, I really loved what I learned from our conversation that one time. Would you like some help this summer? May I help you either in your office or, with a couple projects? So that way you're starting the conversations now, you're building up that professional network even before you come on campus. So that resume and networking piece, you'll hear us talk about a lot. But those are two ways I would say you can start right now. Another way that I think we often get curious questions are about, like, how do we actually engage students once you're on campus? What does that look like? I would like Brett to walk through a couple of our examples there.
Yeah. So I mentioned earlier we have online resources, and as a university, not just as a business school, we use a platform called Handshake that's used by most of the universities across the country right now. And on Handshake, we have hundreds of employers that post. I was actually looking at the data today that Jack, my intern, provided for me, thousands of job and internship opportunities. So on Handshake, we post all of our events. We help students connect with employers through it. We also use a service called Alumni Fire that has 820 of our alumni connected to it. And on there, our alumni can say which type of professional development or job and internship opportunities they're willing to provide for students. Anything from just a quick phone call to an email exchange to actually putting them in touch with someone for a potential opportunity, to even using it as a recruiting tool for themselves or for their own companies. On campus, we all miss being there, but when we're on campus, we do a number of professional development workshops. I like to partner with our employer partners and our alumni to host those. So just in the past semester, both in person and virtually, we've had a professional development workshop on how to do interviews. We've had one on what can I do, or how can I translate my athletic skills into a professional career. That's just a small taste of some of the things that we do in the workshops. We also partner with different companies and different organizations for professional development events. So we work with the CFA Society that's based in Washington, D.C. for different events. Anywhere from a women's networking night to an info session and workshop on how to do well on the CFA exam, to working with different marketing firms to figure out what's the latest and greatest certification that should be had in the field of marketing. So we do a number of those different things. But we also provide an academic part to our career development engagement. Mary, can you tell us a little more about that?
Yes. So we have a 4-course sequence that's all about career preparation. So your first sequence is going to be kind of your orientation to the Bush School, which is where our team will come in and also teach you how to write a resume. But that second year, that sophomore year, Emma's definitely going to be able to tell you a little bit more about this. Emma's my intern, so we work really closely together in this class. It's called Management 299 Career Preparation, and that's where we take you through all of what you would want to know about career prep. So resume writing, cover letter writing, how to find an internship, what platforms are available to me, and then how to build a LinkedIn profile. We take your professional headshots. We go on to interview. I could go on. So we really do a full overhaul and everything you would need to know for career prep, so that sophomore year, junior year, and senior year, you're starting to land those internships and get the jobs that you want. So we really go into the nitty-gritties in that course, and that's one way we really make sure that you're all ready for the career right when you start. Emma's also going to talk a little bit about the coaching that we offer. And like I said, I'm the career coach, so I get to meet with a lot of students, but Emma also in her unique role really gets to meet with students too.
Great. So in regards to career peer advising and as well career coaching that we have to offer for our students, career peer advising in particular consists of myself, Jack, and Molly, who are all your fellow students, peers, friends, and role models to help you out whenever you have questions regarding resumes, cover letters, career coaching, etc. And all of these resources and our knowledge can be accessed through weekly walk-ins and as well appointments that we set up for our students. So if you ever have any quick questions or anything like that, this is a really great way to work with a fellow peer that you may be more comfortable with to ask quick questions and really navigate the job market and what the next best steps may be for you. So in addition to that, we as well promote various professional development events on campus, such as CEO lectures, our annual club fair, as there are so many different business student organizations that you can join, and as well plan different fun events throughout the year, such as career networking night, various senior seminars and important topics such as that, and so many more. So there really are so many opportunities and individuals here within the business school that are willing and very interested in helping you and supporting you on your endeavors.
Yeah, thanks, Emma. I think we're giving you a sense that the way that we approach career development is more of as an ecosystem rather than the traditional career services center. The university does have a large career services and academic success center that we partner with on many different initiatives, and especially with our data collection and networking and using our connections. But we see ourselves as a vital piece that kind of interweaves through the rest of the business school. So before we jump to our next question that we frequently get asked, I do want to remind you that you can chat any questions you might have for any one of us or just in general in the chat box here in Zoom. So next, we've talked about how we engage students, but as I mentioned in my particular role in my introduction, I work mostly with employers. So what does it look like for us to actually engage employers? Well, we like to think of our employers that we work with as our partners. We're helping our students develop professionally, find meaningful opportunities both through internships, externships, job shadowing, and job opportunities. And we also think that we're helping our employer partners find good talent. So through getting roundtable discussions with them, through my constant communication, my interns' communication with our employer partners, we're trying to figure out ways that we can serve our students through serving our employer partners. We do networking events where they come on campus and can meet students. We give them the opportunity to showcase the skills that they've learned in the workplace by leading our students in particular info sessions or workshops. We had one back in the fall with the consultant who graduated from the university a few years ago, and she came back and was able to basically distill everything she does in her work as a consultant and present it to students that were in a newly formed consulting club. Since we've gone virtual, we've put on a number of webinars with our employer partners. We've had one I mentioned on virtual recruiting. We've had one on how to do a good interview. We've had one on salary negotiation and understanding compensation packages. And we've got a few more coming up for the rest of this term. So one of the things that we try to do is, while we're trying to keep tabs on students, we're also trying to keep tabs on employers so that we know ways to coach students so that we're serving our employers and giving them the best talent they can possibly have. Now, when I'm going and engaging employers, I'm looking mostly for the starting point of our alumni base. Our alumni base is one of the strongest that I've ever seen in the different institutions I've been involved with in the past. Our alumni are generous with their time. They want to see fellow Catholic cardinals do well, both academically, and then once they graduate, to do well professionally. So they recognize that if they can help out a student now by helping them get that internship or get a new opportunity to help them develop, it's going to make their degree look that much better as they continue on. Second, I like to network with as many employers as I possibly can through different means, whether that's in-person networking events that are kind of your all cold calls. Everybody's got a name tag on and it's all personal introductions for the first time, or using LinkedIn in some targeted search ways that my intern Jack has helped me program and write some scripts for. So we try to engage employers on a whole number of levels because we think it's important to leave no stone unturned for our students. As we've gone and done that employer engagement, we have been able to get some really awesome opportunities for some of our students that we don't think otherwise they could have had. And I'd like Molly, if you could tell us a little bit about what your experience was like in finding an internship and some of the things that you've done since you've been here.
Yeah, definitely. So I've been lucky enough to have 4 internships throughout my experience at Catholic U. Starting off, as a sophomore, I would meet with Mary and tailor my resume to what it is now. She worked me along the way and my interview skills. But the platform that really helped me find the most, actually 3 out of my 4 internships, was using Handshake, as we discussed earlier. So what's really cool about Handshake is you can go through and search based on different things such as location, ideal major, and see if your qualifications match. 2 of these internships I had were here in DC, but one of them was back home. So I'm from outside of Boston, so I could just select internships in Boston, and I was lucky enough to be able to find one and apply through there. And then it's really easy to apply. You submit your resume and usually a cover letter, and it's the first stage in connection between you and a potential employer. And then also I'd like to touch on your professional network, as Mary mentioned too. My first internship was actually through a peer. So something to consider is your peers in the business school are your professional network as well. So when I was a sophomore, I had a senior friend who connected me with the job she had previously had and her boss there. We were both marketing majors, and making those connections within the business school and your peers was really going to help you along the way too, even if it's just not getting the internship, but giving you advice along the way. So
Yeah, thanks, Molly. Jack, can you tell us a little bit about what your experience has been like? You've been going through a recruiting period now for some of the Big Four accounting firms. How's that been?
So it's been definitely an interesting process. I'm very grateful for the Bush School. I think my favorite thing about the Bush School is how prepared they get you for finding these opportunities. So through Mary and Brett, they're both very big resources, as well as the education they provide and their super curriculum classes. I remember my freshman year, like Molly, I went and got my resume tailored with Mary. I started with like nothing, and then like 2 weeks later, we had a full resume. And just to highlight one thing, she said, utilize your personal network at home. You never know like just how often you're gonna need someone who you haven't talked to in a couple of years. So like I had a neighbor I hadn't talked to in a couple of years. I knew he worked in finance. And this past summer, I had an internship at his finance firm. And then for accounting, if you get close to your professors, a lot of times they really want to help you out and want you to be successful. Professors typically at business schools, they generally have worked and have experience within different organizations and different businesses. Pretty much all of our professors have done some sort of consulting work or marketing work, and they didn't really start as professors, which is good because they're pretty well connected. An example of that is the head of the accounting department, Professor Bill Kirst, who sent my resume out to three of the Big Four accounting firms. And then from there, I ended up getting emails from the three recruiters at all three of those firms. I ended up getting interviews and offers from all three. So pretty much everything that the business school, does, we do a lot of networking events, a lot of education with LinkedIn, a lot of webinars. Utilize all of those. You never know what you're going to learn. You're never going to go to one of those and not learn anything. And you're never going to go to any sort of event and not get anything out of it. So utilize every opportunity you can, and definitely, get connected with people on LinkedIn if you haven't already.
Thanks, Jack. Emma, we'd love to hear what you have to say as well.
Yeah, of course. In regards to the opportunities at the Bush School and as well my professional experiences through different internships, I really found as well working with Mary and different resources within the business school to be very helpful. I've had, I think, 8-ish internships. There's a fair amount. I've interned both during the school year and as well in between summers of school and coming back. And I found really that all the different professors are very helpful. They're very personable and really want to help their students as much as possible. So as prospective incoming students, I think really forming those relationships with your professors go a long way, as you never know what connections they can make for you down the road. And in regards to a recent internship in particular, this past summer I interned with Ernst & Young, and that was a really great experience to get my first taste of consulting and what that life could be like for postgrad.
Great. Thanks, everyone. I think it's helpful to hear a student talk about the things that they're actually going through right now. You've got some of our 3 best students here, but they're not. It's not uncharacteristic for the rest of our student body in the business school. We were just looking over some of our statistics from the class of 2019 that just graduated, and we found that 87% of them had at least one internship while they were a student in the business school. It was over 2/3 of them had 2 internships or more while they were students. So that's one of the benefits of living in Washington, D.C., is that there are opportunities abounding for students to participate in meaningful work experiences, not only to make their resumes look better, but to actually develop their technical skills through learning how to use a new CRM software, through learning how to learn a programming language, putting those Excel skills they're learning in the classroom to use, and then also developing those soft skills. How can you communicate with people? Are you able to understand what your boss wants before they know that they want it? All of those types of things. So that's one of the great things about studying in Washington, D.C., is that you have easy access to many different opportunities.